Here's an attitude for us to adopt and really get into our heads, into our hearts, that the Lord is mighty to save. He has supernatural power to save us, even us. And so, one of the Israelite enemies, Adonai Zedek, which translated literally would mean Lord, the Lord is my righteousness. So, the Lord of righteousness, or the Lord is my righteousness. He is the King of Jerusalem. He's the enemy king. And there's going to be a greater Lord of righteousness that is going to rule from Jerusalem, even in particular the heavenly Jerusalem. But the Lord will rule from Jerusalem. King David's going to conquer this city, and we're going to see that Joshua, hint pointing to Jesus. Joshua is a form of Yeshua, of Jesus. So the king is my righteousness, king of Jerusalem, hears that Joshua had captured Ai, and it has really caused his heart to melt. He fears greatly because of this capturing of Ai. And then, on top of that, he's not only heard that Ai has fallen, he's also heard that the inhabitants of Gibeon, the people of Gibeon, made peace with the people of Israel. And he was afraid for these two things because Gibeon was a great city. It was greater than Ai. And he even says all its men were warriors. So Gibeon was a great city. These are those folks that deceived the people of Israel. And Adonizedek, the king of Jerusalem, is scared. He is afraid because this great city has defected to the Israelites. So he sends and gets all his friends to make a great army of 5 nations, of 5 kingdoms. And he tells these 5 kingdoms, including himself, he says, "Come up to me and help me. Let us strike Gibeon. Let us go and attack these enemies of ours, because they have sided with the Israelites." So they then make war against Gibeon. And here's what the Gibeonites do. Remember, these are the people, just like Rahab, that have sided with the Israelites. They have made the Lord Almighty their Lord and God, and now it's the great test. What are they going to do? It oftentimes happens when somebody newly becomes a Christian, that they seem to be attacked by Satan and his evil dark forces, and are tempted and attempted to lead astray. Many times, us as Christians who are more senior and have been following the Lord for a time, when we decide to do things God's way, when we decide to commit ourselves to the Lord, it appears that attacks come against us. Sometimes bodily and physical attacks. Sometimes it is enemies and people coming against us. It shows itself in different ways, but we feel attacked. That's what the Gibeonites, they sided with the great God of Israel. Now they got 5 Amorite army kings coming to attack them. And so they call unto Joshua, they call unto Yeshua, and they said, "Please come up to us quickly and save us and help us." And this is really supposed to put our minds, or I should say it this way, the Psalms really is an echo of this statement: "Come up quickly and save us." The Psalms have this all over the place. The Israelites calling and asking for God to help them. And that's the heart of the Gibeonites. They're saying, "Help us." They're calling Joshua, the representative of the Lord, to say, "Come quickly and help us." And the Lord, of course, hears them, because not only does Joshua take his great army, we're going to see God work in his miraculous ways to save the Gibeonites, reminiscent of the Red Sea being separated, reminiscent of the great walls of Jericho falling down because they marched around the city. So there's a supernatural effect of the Lord in this great battle to save the Gibeonites. So let us call unto the Lord. It's a good example for us to follow. Call and ask him to save you. So Joshua went up from Gilgal. Just like Joshua went up from Gilgal to go save him, Jesus, the Lord himself, will come and help him. And he brings all the people of war with him. And then the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not fear them, for I have given them into your hands." Sweet promise of God to Joshua to say, "I'll be with you." Again, that's the promise that he said at the beginning of the book of Joshua. And again, that's the great promise he says to us: "I will never leave you nor forsake you." Praise the Lord. He is with us, and he will bring us to fight over our enemies. And who are our enemies? Not not flesh and blood, as the Apostle Paul says, but principalities and powers, the evil rulers of the dark world. Those are our enemies, Satan and his demonic um, group and horde. Verse 9, so Joshua came upon them suddenly, and he marched up all night from Gilgal. So Joshua, there's an urgency here. He gets them all up, and they're marching all night, and they've got to be exhausted. And in spite of their exhaustion, they are able to surprise the Amorite army, Adonizedek and all of his forces. And then we see that this surprise, this panic, comes because of the Lord. The Lord supernaturally um, surprises them. So the Lord is the one that threw them into a panic, and they were surprised, and they start running before the Lord. When we obey the Lord, and when we do things, and when you just have a fantastic day, or you just do something wonderful for God or for His church, remember that it is actually the Lord working through you. Don't you dare take credit for the great work that God does. Give Him all the glory. All the good that you do is a result of God working through you. Do the action, absolutely, but pray that God, His mighty Spirit, will work through you. And then we see that Joshua and the Israelites gave the enemy a great blow at Gideon, but it gets even more so. The Lord is even more involved. Not only does He surprise and cause a great panic to go through the Amorite armies, we see that the Lord threw down large stones from heaven. There were hailstones falling from heaven upon the Amorites, upon these enemies. And actually, there were more that were killed or died because of the hailstones than even what the sons of Israel killed with the sword. So we have a miraculous move of God throwing down large hailstones to attack the enemy. God Himself is fighting against these Amorite armies. But on top of that, not only is the Lord sending hailstones, not only is He confusing and putting fear into the army, and they're being spread out all over the place, Joshua makes a grand request of the Lord. He asks him to keep the sun standing still. He says, we need more time to fight. We're tired and we're fighting, but we need the sun to stand still. We need the moon to stay in the valley of Ahijalon. We need something cosmic to happen. And guess what happened? The sun stood still. We're told that the sun stopped in the midst of heaven and did not hurry to set for about a whole day. It lasted even longer for the Israelites to get done the task that God put in front of them. God is working in a supernatural, wonderful way to help the Israelites and to defend the Gibeonites who had sided with the Lord. They went through that great ruse. It was a terrible ruse. They lied. They shouldn't have lied against the people of Israel, but they are now in the people of God. They have now joined the great army of Israel. And now God is defending and standing for them. So let us remember, God works to save. He is a mighty God that saves. And let us call unto Him as the Gibeonites called unto Joshua. Come to us quickly and help us. Pray that's been a blessing to you. I'll see you in the next video.